Good evening, everybody, or good morning to some of you, and welcome to week 6, which is essentially the halfway point of our semester. So, congratulations on making it this far. Week 6 is a pretty straightforward week, taking place between the 16th of October through the 22nd of this month. The primary focus of this week is simply the research project. We have gone over analysis, we've gone over evaluation. You guys have been given PowerPoints, videos, reading material to kind of keep you updated on what is expected with these particular areas. And now the primary focus is the research project. This is something I've been addressing the last couple of weeks, excuse me, so it should not come as anything new to you. However, the primary goal of today's video is to give you a little bit more insight regarding the project itself. Some of you have been emailing me regularly with questions and have had me look at your updated project. So again, something to keep in mind is that I will field questions about your project as long as they fit the following criteria. 1, they have to be presented to me prior to Sunday, October 2nd. Remember, I do not look at any projects or assignments the day they are due. So Saturday, the 21st, is the last day I will field any questions about the assignment. And you have to make sure that you ask specific questions. Point me in the direction of areas of concern. So you can ask questions about your analytical or evaluative thesis, your structure, your organization, your citations, the sources you're using. Try to refrain from asking me very generic or general questions if you don't want generic or general feedback. So make sure to keep that in mind as well. As I stated, the research project is the primary focus of this week. It will be the only thing that is due. It is due this Sunday by 11:59 p.m., October 22nd. Make sure that you email me your completed project. Make sure that you've gone over it several times to make sure that it is polished, it is intact. Make sure that you get it turned in on time or early, because each day that the project is late, it will drop 1 letter grade. So you don't want to lose points simply because you are unable to turn in the project on time. As stated last week, under the research project section here, you will note that it has been thoroughly updated for the last couple weeks now with the assignment sheet, the grading rubric, both the writing to analyze and writing to evaluate section, and then some project examples provided by students who have worked on this project in the past. Remember, for this particular project, you can move away from a traditional essay. You can focus on a PowerPoint, a Prezi, a video essay, a podcast, a website, or a different project in general if you want to run that by me. But just a couple pointers for each of these particular types of projects if you intend to take them on. Now, in regards to a Prezi or a PowerPoint, these are both good types of projects for you guys to provide a variety of different approaches to the analytical or evaluative conversation. It allows you to add pictures, it allows you to add bullet points, charts, links to different materials. But one thing you want to make sure of is if you are producing a PowerPoint or a Prezi, that you add an audio component. What this does is it allows the reader to view your project, and it allows you to elaborate on key bullet points without overexerting the slide. So view the example of the 1+ evaluation that a student produced for me a couple semesters ago. Here you can either incorporate the audio directly to the PowerPoint, or you can attach it as a separate file. Either way, as long as you have audio, it will benefit you. I will tell you that the PowerPoints that lacked audio did relatively less in their grade than ones with the audio, because audio adds another dimension. So here, what this does is that it allows the student to discuss the particular topic, as you can hear here. There, it keeps your bullet points concise, it doesn't make slides too wordy, and it allows you to elaborate on areas that the bullet points can't necessarily get to. It's a nice addition to have in both a PowerPoint or a Prezi. If you decide to do a video essay, if you are good with video editing, make sure that you do add a voiceover over the video as well. Video doesn't necessarily explain itself, so you always want to make sure you put things in context. The same thing can be said for PowerPoint or Prezi presentations. If you give me a link to something, whether it's a video or an article, you have to make sure that you give me the context for it. Always make sure to connect it to your analytical or evaluative claim. The podcast example is a great way to have a more conversational sort of approach to a discussion. It allows you to add multiple voices, and it keeps things in a more sort of discussion-based forum. One thing I would suggest if you decide to utilize a podcast is to type out an outline for yourself so that you can stay on track and that so the conversation does not go off the rails. Lastly, in terms of a Weebly website, the website is probably the most interactive sort of project you can do. It allows the reader to go through multiple pages. It allows the reader to engage in different sort of activities that you want to include, while at the same time being able to observe your analysis or evaluation. For those of you who are considering the traditional approach of either the essay, they are available both in the Writing to Analyze and the Writing to Evaluate section, so please reference those if you have questions. Regardless of the type of regardless of the type of project you produce, you will need to have a minimum of 4 sources. Now remember, that's a minimum. You can always have more sources, but one thing you always want to make sure you do is that the first time a source is introduced or integrated into your essay, you want to make sure that you introduce your source. Who is the particular source and how do they connect to the subject matter? That's the same thing for any type of project. Make sure you properly cite your sources. Also, if you need additional information about expectations for this, please reference the research project assignment sheet. I went over this in a video a few weeks ago, but like I said, the best thing to do if you have questions is to ask me early, especially in this week. Don't wait till the last minute because you might not get a response. So make sure that you do ask questions early and often. This is the primary focus of this week. Make sure that you continue to work on it and make sure that you get it submitted by 11:59 p.m. Sunday, October 22nd. On a side note, I have graded your analysis quizzes and they will be returned to you by the time you are probably listening to this video or watching this video. You should have your analysis quizzes back. If there are any subsequent or follow-up questions pertaining to your quiz, please feel free to email me if you have any areas of concern or confused by any of the feedback. Stay diligent, keep working, and get those projects submitted by Sunday, October 22nd. Don't be late.